All right, so this is properties of triangles. So what the class is going to do is kind of list all the properties that they know of triangles, like Pythagorean theorem, SOHCAHTOA, those types of things. And so these are the properties that you're going to need to know for this class and for this section. You need to know that the sum of all angles is 180. The combined length of any two sides exceeds that of the third side. You guys did that in geometry, a lot of you, with like spaghetti. So like if this side is 100 and this side is 1 and this side is 1, that will not make a triangle because the ones won't reach. They won't ever connect each other. So the two shorter sides have to add up to more than the big side. So this one would not work. But if I made this length 71 and this length 51, then 71 plus 51 is 122. So that does exceed, so I could get those to connect if I kind of move the angle. The larger angle is across from the larger side. That's going to be important. And the smaller angle is across from the smaller side. So those are 4 things that you learned from geometry that you should be able to do. Okay? So if you look at your vocabulary, let's just kind of go over this. An obtuse triangle has an angle larger, that's larger, than 90 degrees. An acute is all angles are less than 90 degrees. Okay, an equilateral is all angles are equal, all sides are equal. Okay, an isosceles is when you have two sides equal. And a scalene is when you have no sides equal. They're all different lengths. Oofda. There we go. Okay, and so you're going to get information. You might get a drawing. You might get side links and things. And so you're going to have to label it. So when they ask you to label it, you would say like right isosceles, obtuse scalene. So you're going to use these words to label it. And we'll go over a couple. Okay, so find the angles. So turn to this example. Find the angles of the triangle if the following is true. So I know this is an alpha, so it's a variable. If you want to use an x, you can. What do I know about 3 angles of a triangle? I know that they add up to 180. Right? So if I add that up, 6, that would be 12. Alpha adds up to 180. So I'm going to divide by 12. Is that 9? No, gosh, no. Is it 16? I'm getting my calculator out. 15. Okay, so that's 15. So now you have to read the question. They love these on the ACT. So it might say find angle A. It might say find angle C. It might say find the value of theta. It might say find all 3 angles. Like you just have to kind of do it. So it says find the angles. So that's all of them. So that means I'm going to put 15 in here. So that means angle A is 30. Angle B is 15 times 4 is 60. And angle C times 5 is 90. Okay? Whoa. Angle C equals 90. Okay? So you got to read the question. If it just asks for all, find the angles, that means you have to find all of them. And so on the test, it's the same thing. You've got to answer the question. If I ask for angle A and you write all of them and you don't circle angle A, I will take off. I want to know that you know what I'm asking. Okay? All right, on example 2, there's a bunch of these just to help you get used to drawing. I kind of talked about it in class that a lot of this unit is just being able to draw what's given to you. So I'm saying there's 3 sides. Side A is 156, so I'm just going to draw this. So side A is 156. Side B is 131. And side C is 147. Okay, so now they're telling you that you have an angle at 51 and an angle at 61. So if I find the third angle, so let's figure that out. 51 plus 61, that equals 112. So if I do 180 minus 112, that's 68, right? So that means that my other angle in this triangle is 68. So you have to find the measure of the third angle. So that's question 1, 68 degrees. I sketched it to start with, so I did. Name the angle using the correct corresponding capital letter. So this goes back to geometry. If this is side A, then angle A is across from it. Side A is the biggest side, which means angle A is the biggest angle. Okay? And so same thing here. If I go down, side B is across from it. This would be B. Side B is the smallest, which means angle B would be the smallest. So that's 51. And so finally, that leaves me with 147. Oops. So that's across from it is side C because it's the same letter. So when I'm asking this question, I'm asking you to correctly label each angle. So you can't just slap them wherever. The biggest side is across from the biggest angle. Okay. All right, so the Osage Fire Department is engaged in a firefight. I did not write this. At a local marina, the shadow of the burning boat structure. So I have a structure and I have a shadow. The shadow of the burning boat structure is 25 meters long. At the same time, the engine casts a 3 meter high, the 3 meter high engine, casts a 5 meter shadow. How high is the building? So this triangle, because if we're talking about the sun, these two triangles would be similar because it would happen at the same time of day. So at the same time, and you guys did these in geometry. So that means that the shadow, 25 to 5, would be equal to the height, which would be h over 3. Okay, and so now you're solving, so you would cross multiply. 5h equals 75, divide by 5, divide by 5, and so that means that that would be 15 meters tall. Okay, which, I mean, a burning boat structure, 15 meters tall, I would bet Kelly Walsh High School is like 10 meters tall. So it's a little bit taller than our building. So that seems like it would be realistic. Okay, so it's similar triangles. So I would like you to pause the video and try this one. This one is another practice. Just try it since you're gone to make sure you understand. Pause. So the three angles would add up to 180. So that would be 8x, and that would be 44. So I would minus 44. 180. I was like, what am I missing? I thought I wrote the 0, but it obviously didn't go. So 180 minus 44 is 136. Divide that by 8. And my x value is 17. So times 17 by 3, and that means angle A would be 51 degrees. And then 17 times 5 minus 3 would be angle B would be 82 degrees. And then I know angle C is 47. So if you ever get to one of these and you're just not sure whether you did it right, you can take your answers, 51 plus 82 plus 47, and it should add up to 180. Okay? All right, I would like you to try this one. Pause the video. Okay, the measure of the third angle, I have a 30, I have a 90, so that means I have a 60 degrees. Okay, so I know if I draw this thing, I have a 90, okay, and I have a 30, and that's A, and I have a 90, that's B, and oops, let's put a B there. And then that means that this right here is C, and I know that's 60 degrees, okay? So name the side using the appropriate lowercase. So if I look at this, 10 is the smallest, so that would mean side A is 10. So I would be looking for the correct letter. The medium one is across from C, so the C would be 10 root 3, and B would be 20, because that's across from the hypotenuse. So it's a matter, I'm going to be grading the correct letters that you can put things in the right places. All right, so on example 1, here's LT3. You're going to have to turn the page on this. To estimate the height of a flagpole, Carrie reasons that ABC formed by her height and the shadow must be similar to DEF made by the flagpole. So I have the flagpole, right? And it makes a shadow and this height, right? So, and then I have Carrie, and she makes a shadow at this height. Okay, so it says if she's 5'6" tall, so that's 5.5, 5 feet 6 inches. So 5 feet 6 inches is 5.5 feet. So you need to convert it, 5.5 feet, or you can make it in inches, I don't care. And she casts an 8-foot shadow. Okay, while the shadow of the flagpole is 44, how tall is the pole? So I'm doing the height of the pole divided by the height of Carrie equals the shadow of the pole divided by the shadow of Carrie. So 8h equals 44 times 5.5 is 242. And then I'm going to divide that by 8. And my answer is the height of the flagpole is 30.25 feet. Okay. All right, so find all the sides of the following triangle. So, and you guys did this, I know, so here's my 90, right? My 90 to theta is this leg. So my 90 to theta is that leg. Those are the same. My hypotenuse, I'm going to use a different color. That's this leg. And so if you need to get out colors, I would do that. There's the hypotenuse, so those go together. Okay, and it's telling you in the directions, it will say these are similar. And so then finally I have this leg, which has to go with this leg. Okay, so if I do the green on the big to the green on the small, and then I do the red, so it's the red on the big to the red on the small. So now I cross multiply. So I would cross multiply, I'd get 3x squared plus 3x equals 36. Okay, you guys learned this in Algebra 2. You actually learned it in Algebra 1. If you have something squared, you have 2 answers. So that means you need to get it all on the same side and factor. Should not be difficult. You've been factoring a lot. Okay, and this one I think works nicely because everything divides by 3. What are my factors of negative 12 that subtract a 1 are 4 and a negative 3. So x plus 4, x minus 3. That means one of my answers is a negative 4. If I put a negative 4 in here, that gives me a side length of a negative 3. You can't do that. So if I do this, one of my answers is 3, which would mean this side length is 4, and this side length is 9, which would make sense. So that is my answer. It wants you to, so you got to read when it wants, find all the sides. So my sides would be 4 and 9. Those are my missing sides. And if you wanted to find the other one, you could do Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so the worksheet is your homework tonight, the one in your homework map. And here were the notes.